YouTube? We are back with a new video and a new video series for that matter. TJ, my partner in crime here, and I will be talking about BT14. You know, BT14's coming pretty quickly now. You know, pre-release is going to be happening within the next couple of weeks. An official set release is going to be November 17th. So really sneaking up on us. We want to use this series of videos that we're going to be doing by color. So today's video will be about red. We'll have separate videos for, you know, blue, yellow, green, purple, and black. And we really want these videos to be like a preview for you guys so you can kind of see what cards are coming out. We'll give our like initial thoughts on it. Nothing too in depth, but enough where you can kind of know what the cards do, get our initial thoughts on it, see if they're like decent for pre-release or whatnot, and kind of know what to hype up and maybe what to be like, it's all right, you know? What do you think, TJ?
Agreed. I'm ready. The partner in crime is ready.
All right. So we'll start off with our Digi-A Coron, inheritable effect to give basically your draw engine. So once per turn, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, you're able to draw one. I think he's okay. You know, I think red has access to a lot more draw eggs, such as like BT5 Coron, BT8 Greymon, so I don't think this will probably see a whole lot of meta play. It's all right.
Nah. Yeah, decent. I think that's good for that. Moving on to the next. Auman, first SR of the set we're going to talk about. First SR rookies that we get or ever like are in this set. 3 play cost, 1 KDP. Digivolves for free over any red level 2. Can Digivolve for 0 over any Coromon, alternatively. Has start of your main phase if you have a Tamer with Tycomian in its name. This Digimon may Digivolve into a Greymon from your hand without paying the cost. And then has the inheritable of your turn. While this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, it gets plus 2 KDP. Very good Agumon. Replaces the promo Agumon in pretty much any deck. Is also going to be a lot more accessible than the promo Agumon, even though we've had some reprints now. But this card's going to just end up being better overall, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, good card. I think it's definitely going to be like at least a 2 to 4 of in like any Greymon deck.
Yeah, because I mean you're giving Greymon a lot more gas with this card.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
Know, the ability to turbo up is huge, and I think something that Wargreymon lacked, and we'll be definitely seeing a lot of this little guy.
Yeah, very fun.
Next card will be Gizan. He is a 3 play cost, a 0 to Digivolve over level 2, 2 KDP. Inheritable effect to basically when attacking once per turn, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3 KDP or less. I think you pointed this out to me earlier, you know, like first time we're kind of seeing a lot of these common vanilla cards go away. Each card is kind of having more effects, more value. Even if it's just a generic effect.
Yeah, we've moved away from just vanilla cards to just generic rookie or just generic cards in general.
Yeah. So I think this is a pretty good generic pre-release card. You know, being able to delete sort of small bodies, little floodgates, whatever it may be, and combating that rookie rush strategy. But otherwise, I think he's sort of pretty good generic card, but nothing else.
Yeah, good for pre-release. That's about it. Next card, another good for pre-release card. Might see some play in some other decks potentially, but is iffy. Gatsumon, play cost of 3, 2000 DP, Digivolves for free over any red level 2, and just has all turns players can't play Digimon by effects. So good for stopping wideboard decks. Isn't going to do too much. I have seen the argument, or some people think that sometimes the Digicrossing is in effect. It is not, so don't get that confused. But
good.
Yeah. He's just generic red.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. I was about to say you're equivalent to Pomumon, so pretty decent. Yep. Next card is going to be Kokatorimon. So first level 4 of the set, at least for red at least. 4 play cost, a 2 cost to Digivolve over level 3, 5k DP, but more importantly has jamming. Could be good for like the bird deck, but I think also pretty strong in any sort of pre-release format. You know, jamming in general for pre-release is very strong, very good. But otherwise, I think he's okay. He doesn't really see much play otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. If only he was a vaccine, then he'd be a lot better for bird deck.
Yeah.
But otherwise, good generic. Next up is Monochromon, a boy that I love. I love Triceratops. I love the design. Just wish he'd get an actual dedicated card with more than just a generic effect on him. Anyways, 4 play drop or 4 play cost. 5,000 DP. Digivolves for 2 over any red level 3, and just his blocker, just a good generic blocker. He'll do well in pre-release format. Being a 4-drop is pretty nice, but other than that, nothing crazy about him.
Yeah. And I think we're seeing kind of blockers die away from the game in general too, so he's all right.
Yeah, unless they're like some other crazy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, juicy level 4 here is going to be Greymon. He is a 5 play cost, 5k DP, a 2 cost to Digivolve over any red level 3, and 2 cost to Digivolve over any level 3 with Agumon in name, which does encompass things like Agumon X Antibody, Bushi Agumon if you want to get wild with it.
BT11 Green Agumon.
When attacking, this Digimon gets plus 2k DP for the turn. Then you have a Tamer with Taikamiya in its name, you gain 1 memory. Inheritable effect is basically the same as the secret Agumon, or super rare Agumon, which is if you have a Digimon with Greymon, Omnimon in name, it gets plus 2k DP. So I think just pretty strong card, pretty strong level 4, if you want to put it that way. I think it'll help you kind of clear board, build up your stack into a bigger body, helps your efficiency if you have a Tamer in place, so you're really able to kind of get best of both worlds there with this guy.
Yeah, it can definitely give you some decent early aggression to help control board, I think, more than anything else, or potentially do some security checks.
Agumon.
Agumon.
All right, next up's your boy.
Yeah, Tyranomon, my favorite. 5 play cost. Yep, 5,000 DP. Digivolves for 3, a little bit more costly over any red or green level 3. He's a red-green card in general. Has start of your main phase until the end of the turn when this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with Tyranomon in its name or the Dinosaur Ceratopsian trait, reduce the cost by 1. Then has end of your turn once per turn. If this Digimon has Tyranomon in its name or the Dinosaur Ceratopsian trait, it may attack. So, very good card for Tyrano. When we eventually see more Tyrano support outside of the Ace Rush Tyrano that's going to be coming eventually, he will do a lot for the deck. Definitely will probably have 4 of, without a doubt. Probably him and the BT11 one are good. But otherwise, it's a good card. Keep in mind that reduction effect is for the entire turn. So even if you are, even if you've already Digivolved over him into a level 5, that level 5 going to level 6 will still reduce the cost by 1 so long as it meets the requirements of having Tyranomon a name or Dinosaur Ceratopsian trait. Sure. An end of turn effect is once per turn will just give you Blitz, pretty much. Pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, I think a nice aggro piece for Tyrano.
Definitely.
All right, moving on. Our first Ace card. We will try to make a dedicated video to Ace because I think the mechanic itself justifies that. So we won't spend too much time explaining like what Ace is, how it works, and how it plays into the meta per se. But this is our first Ace card for red in the set. Each color will have their own like specific Ace card. Metal Greymon obviously is reds. It's a 4 play cost, 3 to Digivolve over a level 4 if you're just hard Digivolving, 8k DP, and a 3 Digivolve from a level 4 with Greymon in name. Again, doesn't restrict it to the color. So it is a hand counter or blast Digivolve, so you can Digivolve into this card without paying the play cost within that Ace or blast Digivolve window. And on play when Digivolving, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less. It has the overflow mechanic, which is going to be a commonality of all Ace cards. And what overflow means is that when this card, whether it's de-digivolved, removed from battle, like it dies in battle or security, or it's stripped from sources, etc., or you digivolve on top of it and that stack eventually leaves, overflow will take into effect. Exactly. Yeah. You will lose 3 memory. So you do have to kind of play, as we'll talk about later, keep in mind what the Ace does and make sure you time it appropriately, because you will be penalized down the line if your opponent can deal with it. Yeah. But I think overall, get back to the card, it's okay. I would probably call it one of the weaker Aces of the set for sure. Yeah. Being able to pop something for 6k is okay, but
yeah, probably one of the weaker Aces we've seen in general. I think the only thing that's worse than it is the War Grey Ace from.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I think sort of like you were saying before, like playing it for 4 and then deleting something careless is not bad, but otherwise it's just generically So then moving on, we have Mega Dramon.
Inherit effect.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead, sir.
Inherited effect of when attacking once per turn. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. Decent card. I'm just not realizing that it can't go over black. So
yeah,
that is going to cause issues for Machine. But can still be played, and is like, I mean, most of the time it's definitely like a one of if you're gonna run it, but Metal Mame is probably gonna be better 9 times out of 10 anyways.
Yeah.
But you know, otherwise good for pre-release. But it.
Yeah, I think solid. And then moving on, do you want to take Tricera?
Sure, I can. Yeah. Next up is Tricera. Play cost of 7,000 DP. Digivolves for 2 over any red level 4. Has just raid. Decent card. I like the art. Him running at you, but otherwise it's gonna be decent for pre-release. Doesn't do much else outside of that.
Yeah, agreed. Next is Dino Rexon. An interesting level 6. 11 play cost, which you typically won't be doing. Digivolve for 3 on top of any red level 5. 11k DP. When digivolving, you gain Blitz, and then during all turns, note, while your opponent has 1 or more memory, your opponent can't play Digimon with a DP of 6k or less, and then this Digimon will also get 4k DP. Interesting in the sense that it'll kind of sit there at 15k most of the times during your opponent's turn, handcuffs them, particularly like during a pre-release format, they can't be playing stuff just willy-nilly. Otherwise, I think it's just a solid vanilla red top end. Nothing real special about it otherwise.
Yeah, next to anybody in trade, so could do something funny there, but yeah, otherwise just decent vanilla card, good for pre-release. Probably won't see much play outside of that.
Next.
Yep. Next up, Goldramon. A bit mouthier this guy is. More wordier, not mouthier. Play cost of 12,000 DP. Digivolves for 4 over any red or yellow level 5. Has both on play when digivolving, play 1 on play or when digivolving. Play 1 Auman of Crimson Flames token, a red Digimon with 6,000 DP in Rush, and 1 Auman of Blue Thunder token, a yellow Digimon with 6,000 DP in Blocker. So you get 2 tokens out of it, which is very neat. We don't have many token things in the game. Then all turns, when this Digimon would digivolve or would leave the battle area, delete all of your Auman of Crimson Flames and Auman of Blue Thunder. If you deleted with this effect, recovery +1. So keep in mind, you only have to delete one of them. You don't have to have deleted both for the recovery effect. As long as there was one still on board when you were going to digivolve or leave battle area, you can go ahead and pop one and then recover something. Decent card. Might see some play in 4 Great Dragons. Might see some play in Yellow Vaccine. Otherwise, doesn't really do too much else. He's fun though. Nice art.
Nice art. I think definitely something that you can like copium with and make some fun like creative decks with, but definitely not like anything too crazy just yet, at least.
Great for a pauper format.
Yeah, and I think
actually no,
like
that's
you
all
said,
in commons or less, isn't it? Actually.
Oh, no, you're right. No rares.
He is a rare. Yeah.
The tokens would be interesting though. We haven't seen that really since Diaboro, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun to
definitely
mess around with.
Yeah, I agree.
Next we'll have Tai Kamiya. So the Tamer for red in this set, it is a 3 play cost. Start of main phase, one of your Digimon with the vaccine trait gets +2k DP for the turn. And during your turn, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stag, you can suspend him to gain a memory. The security effect is pretty standard for all Tamers, just basically play him without paying the play cost. Ironically, probably not a great Tamer for the Greymon variant, but probably better for the bird vaccine decks, if anything.
Honestly, yeah.
Because you get that +2k to kind of keep them alive, which is something that they were sorely missing, I think, in all honesty. But BT12 Tai just overshadows this guy. It's the same play cost, but you get so much more value from BT12 Tai than this guy. I just feel like you don't run him really in Greymon.
Definitely, I agree. I think the more I think about the bird deck with him, honestly, I'm kind of cooking something in my head already.
Oh no. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Otherwise, on from the Tamer.
Yeah.
First option of the set that we'll talk about here. Mega Flame.
Yeah.
Play cost of 4. Main, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. If you have a Digimon with Greymon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP instead. Security is just activate the main effect. Decent option. Greymon decks are already pretty clunked up with other cards, so it's hard to warrant wanting to use that. But
yeah,
it's good for, might be okay for pre-release. Probably won't see play outside of it.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like you just run Hades if you want deletion in Greymon decks. So
agreed, definitely.
There's real no need for Mega Flame.
Yeah.
Next option is an interesting one, Dragon of Courage. It is a 4 play cost. While you have a Tamer with Kamiya in name, you may use this card ignoring its color requirements, so it can be used in like yellow war gray, black war gray, whatever you want to call it. Main effect, by placing 1 Greymon and 1 Metal Greymon from your trash as the bottom Digivolution cards of one of your Agumon, that Digimon may then Digivolve to War Greymon in your hand, ignoring Digivolution conditions without paying the play cost. Security effect is you can play 1 Agumon from hand or trash without paying play cost, and then add this card, being the option card, to its owner's hand. I think it's interesting. You know, I think being able to warp up and kind of slot in sources is a nice tech, a neat tech.
Yeah.
May synchronize with some of the other war grays, like if you're missing the like secret war gray that we'll be talking about in a quick second, but otherwise it's okay.
Yep, agreed. I think it doesn't do too much else for it. So there's maybe a 1 of, possibly 2 of if you're feeling real spicy.
Yeah. Because you also have to rely on Greymon and Metal Greymon being in trash. So that, for red, I think a pure red deck is kind of hard to kind of set that up.
So you're assuming you probably lost a stack, and at that point you're really... you probably wanted to build another proper stack, not wanting to just warp unless you need to. So, anyways,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
The boy.
Next up. Yep, first secret of the set that we're going to talk about. War Greymon. Play cost of 12 KDP, Digivolves for 4 over any red level 5, but can alternatively Digivolve for 4 from a level 5 with Greymon in name. Has the text on it of, while you have a Tamer with Kamiya in its name and your opponent has a Digimon with 10,000 DP or more, your Agumon may Digivolve into this card from your hand for a Digivolution cost of 4, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. He then has, when Digivolving, he gains Raid for the turn. Then he may attack, so pseudo Blitz, which is pretty cool. And then when attacking, if you have a Tamer, this Digimon gains Security Attack +1 and Piercing for the turn. So does, funnily enough, fully allow you to do the sort of Impmon to BL's X combo if you have X Antibody under the Agu.
Yeah.
Because you'll be able to swing and Digivolve up. But otherwise, good secret. I think he gets slept on from what a lot of people in Japan were saying when he initially was revealed. I think he's a very good War Greymon. But I could see him in most War Grey decks, at least like Black War decks, being like a 1 or 2 of. In a pure War Grey deck, I could see him being like as an option to pick over the BT12 War Grey in some situations, depending on your deck build.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see. I mean, we have so many like War Grey toolbox variants out there. I feel like everybody who comes out with one is just playing a different variant. I'm sure there's people who are gonna like cook some spice up with this. I'm sure you're gonna cook some spice up with this.
Yeah, I got some ideas already.
So I think definitely a very flexible War Grey too. You know, like I think a shout out to our old videos that we saw, I think in previous weeks, like with Will playing his War Greymon X deck. I think I can envision several scenarios where this card would have been like super helpful for him to go into.
Definitely.
Whether it's from an Agu or from a level 5. So I definitely think he'll help the War Grey sort of archetype in general. You know, he's definitely not like a 4 of staple, but definitely helpful as like a 1 or 2 of.
Yeah, agreed.
And that will do it for red. So let us know what you guys think. You know, like I said, this is our first video of this sort of format, but the whole hope of this is to help you guys learn what cards are coming out, see what they do, hear it from us, hear our sort of initial takes on it. Let us know what you guys think as well about these cards, what cards you're looking forward to, and what decks you're looking forward to playing in BT14. And look out for our next video, which will probably be blue, as we kind of preview that archetype as well. So we'll see you there. Bye, guys.
See ya.